Well, it's getting on the middle of May, and if you're anything like the people I've been talking to, everybody's starting to gear up for elk season, whether it's getting your tags, getting your gear, finding a place to hunt. And so this brought up the gear section of what I wanted to talk about. The Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation pack from Eberlestock, their M5. I got this last year. I've seen a few videos of it online, but it seems to all be just people going through the functions of it, you know, what they like about it, all the different pockets, fun stuff like that. As a guide, I get to test out some of this gear. I shouldn't say test out, but you know, whatever gear I have, I put through the ringer. And so this is going to be more of an end user review type of video. I'm not going to tell you all the ins and outs of it. There's plenty of videos you can go and find that out. So I got this in early October. I had my own personal elk hunt where I was able to take my first bull, and I wanted a different backpack. I've been using the Alps Commander pack, which is a great pack, but I wanted something that was smaller, that I could still pack on, but that I didn't have to worry about catching on branches, and I could carry on horseback when I'm guiding, either taking clients out or just going out if I have an elk down and I need to pack it out, but I still want to take my backpack. There was one instance where I had to take the pack and I still had to hike the elk out almost a quarter of a mile to get to where the horses were. And so this worked out really well with that internal frame. So I got this pack a few days into my elk hunt. I was hunting down in Utah. I've got a video on that if you want to watch it. So I was able to swap my packs out. I was able to throw this one on. In that video I was hunting with my 50 cal, which I ended up not getting a bull with that one, but I did get it with the 300. And so this was able to allow me to carry my rifle in a more comfortable way, instead of having it slung over my shoulder where it's kind of flopping around. With that scabbard that they've got on it, you can just tuck it right in behind your back and you can go up the mountain. Your hands are free to grab stuff, push brush out of the way, whatever you need to do. Or if you have a flashlight or a phone that you need to look at, or a map, you don't need to fiddle around having a rifle falling off your shoulder. And the other thing that this does over my other pack is that it has the rifle or the bow on the center line, which my rifle is a little bit heavier. It comes in 9 or 10 pounds. So having that on one side, I found with the other pack was a bit of a disadvantage. You know, it pulled the pack if I didn't have it quite balanced out. So that center line made for a much easier carry, a better weight distribution, which I really like. But at the same time, I can carry quarters on this. The last hike out that we did, I had a buddy come out and he had their F1 mainframe. He put probably 150 pounds on that, and I believe it has the same frame in it that this one does. I was able to pack 2 quarters out on this one at one time. So basically I just dropped this down. I got the frame right here. I took a bunch of stuff out of it, but I was able to tie them down with this, overlap with these straps, and I was able to walk off the mountain nearly a mile like that down to the truck. So 2 quarters, 1 trip. This thing handled it no problem. So normally when I go out, as far as when I'm guiding, of course I'm not carrying a rifle. I just got my pistol as a backup in case anything happens. So I'll tuck my spotting scope right in here, and then I've got a Thermarest sleeping pad that I tuck on there. That way if I want to take a nap on the mountain, or if I need a seat pad, I can just fold it up, sit there, and I'm off the cold rocks, out of the snow, whichever the case. And so all that goes on. I can still throw something up on top if I need to, a jacket if I run out of room, you know, or I can throw the pad up on top, throw a quarter or a game bag, whatever, on the front, and it's got that shelf support, which my old backpack, one of my other backpacks I should say, didn't, because I've got a few of them. But with this internal scabbard, it really carries a lot of weight. I mentioned the 50 cal, so I've got you've seen some of my other rifles on this video. or on previous videos, I'm going to break out the big gun. You want to see how tough this pack is as far as a scabbard. If you're curious how much weight you can carry, I'm going to show you. So I've got the Barrett M82. You can't pick this up and put it in the scabbard. The scabbard goes on the gun. Now if I can do this without the rifle flipping over on me. And no, I am not sponsored by Eberlestock. This is just me doing a video. I probably should have turned the bipod the other way around. Oh. I just want to make sure I get it all the way up into the tip. Okay. Now if you can see down here on the frame, all these marks, this is a well-used pack, even though I've only had it for a year. Alright, now the other thing I screwed up on is I didn't put it in the right way. It needs to go in sideways. I'm going to try and turn it if I can. Okay, there we go. Now, I hurt my back about a week ago. Don't tell my wife I'm doing this. She might freak out on me. We'll just tell her I did it at another time. So, this rifle with a 10-round magazine weighs about 38 pounds. Now, right now it's only got about 3 rounds in it, so we'll say 36, maybe 37. Alright, so the gun sticks up a little bit over my head, but it's actually quite comfortable. I would not be afraid to go out on a hike with this thing. And when you think about it, this is about what you're going to be carrying if you've got an elk quarter on your back coming out. So, you can see that. Everything is straight and in line. This is about the best example you can see of how tough these packs are. All the way down to the bottom. I can't even reach the bottom. My short little arms. But yeah, this is, you can go run around your neighborhood like this. Well, you might freak out some of your neighbors. They're getting invaded by the military. So with this, you're not going to pull it out and deploy it going to shoot your elk. But if you have a regular gun, you'll be fine. Now, to get it off, the best way is just do it the same way as when you put it on. That's the quickest way to do it and the way I should have started. But I haven't had this thing in there since last fall. So, there we go. And then of course we got your scabbard. If you don't need it, just turn it, tuck it in there. And then you can use this pocket for whatever you need. I'll throw some pictures up of my Utah elk hunt just so you can see the pack in action a little bit. Now, one thing that I mentioned before was riding horseback with this. The nice thing about that scabbard tucking away and with it not being as full of a frame as on some of the other packs that are out there, like your regular pack frames, is right down here. The bottom of this frame sits up right about your waistline. So if you're sitting on a four-wheeler like this, or if you're on a horse, you got this thing tied up, you'll be able to sit and saddle, and I have, and you'll get that space right there. You're not bouncing around. You know, some of the packs can be really uncomfortable. Like the Alps Commander pack that I've got, I can't wear on a horse. It's too big, it's too tall. and that's one of the reasons I switched to this. The other advantage of this one is it's a solid frame. There's no adjustment on the frame, so there's nothing rattling around. As far as a hunting pack, this one is really quiet. The only thing that you're going to have rattling is if you tie something onto here, or something clicks up against maybe one of these buckles, and they're plastic, so they're not making a ton of noise. You don't have any pins or anything like that. It's just a good solid pack that you can throw on. It's a little bit heavier, but it's because it's got a heavy-duty construction. This stuff is really thick. I think I mentioned that F1 mainframe that my buddy had with the 150 pounds. He had 2 elk quarters, the entire head and the hide strapped onto that all at one time, and so we went through with some 550 cord, and to tie all that on we had to really MacGyver it up, but we went through some of that molly webbing on there, torqued it down, and he'd had his frame for a little bit, so it was pretty worn, and he's a really active hunter and guide. There was a little tear that happened, but I mean, you're pulling 150 pounds on something like that. That one's probably not really designed for it. But you know, hey, it held up. He made it all the way down to the bottom of the hill, and his pack's still good. It's still got the zipper frame on there that we didn't even use, so he can tie whatever pack he wants onto that, or zipper it on, as the case may be. But with Eberlestock, they've got a great warranty. If you're a veteran or a guide, they've got some discounts that you need to check out. First responders, I believe, so if you're police or firefighter, EMT, something like that, they might have something available for you as well. So go check that out, and happy hunting.